Oh my goodness. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
And what happened? What did Johnny say?
His sister accidentally slammed the door on his arm.
One time, accidentally, my mom crushed my finger on the window.
Oh, we have a puppy in kindergarten. Landon has his dog, or his grandma and grandpa's dog.
Oh no,
Yeah.
what's your name?
He's gonna learn too. He's gonna learn about weather and meteorology.
Landon, what's the name of the dog? Zoe.
Zoe?
Yes.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a girl or boy?
A girl.
Girl dog?
Yeah, Zoe is a girl's name.
Oh, is that two? The another one can be Hallie or Rosie.
Yeah, that's mine gonna be her name.
If I have a dog, I would call him Rosie because our next door is Ove. His dog's name is called Hallie. It would be the same name if I
Oh my
called him
goodness.
that.
Okay. We're gonna get started, friends.
Landon.
Oh, Landon,
How
Ryan's
old are
asking you
your
a
puppies?
question. He wants to know how old your puppy is.
And dog ears are 5.
In dog years. Okay, so he's like 1.5.
He's actually 1 year younger than me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so today, boys and girls, let's mute our microphones. In our read aloud, we will hear Annie's last letter about seasons and weather. Today, Annie will tell you about the study of weather, which is called meteorology. Meteorology is the study of weather. Annie will also tell you about predicting the weather or figuring out what the weather is going to be like before it happens and why it's important to know what the weather is going to be like ahead of time. So here's a very important word we're going to see in our story: prediction. In today's letter from Annie, you'll hear a weatherman predicts or makes his best guess at what the weather's going to be like. You'll also hear the study of weather and making weather predictions, or statements saying what the weather will be like in the future is called meteorology. When someone predicts the weather, they think what will happen in the future. That's why there's a question mark here. A prediction is not exact. A prediction is a guess. But it's not just any guess. It's an educated guess. That means you've studied about it, you've thought about it, and then you try to think about what will happen. But a prediction is not exact. It's a guess. Okay. Very good. The next word I want us to take a look at is meteorologist. This gentleman in this picture is a meteorologist. A meteorologist is a person who studies weather. A person who studies and predicts the weather. So the meteorologist you might see on your TV in the afternoon, they study the weather using different tools and instruments. And then they give us a prediction of what they think the weather might be like. Listen to Annie's last letter. It will tell you the study of weather and making predictions about weather. Listen carefully about the job of the meteorologist and why he's predicting the weather. So that's the question I'm going to ask you when we're done. Think about this meteorologist. Why is his job important? And why is it important to predict the weather? Okay, here we go. Dear kindergartners, this is my last letter to you about seasons and weather. Today we will learn about predicting the weather or guessing what kind of weather is coming soon. Have you ever watched the weatherman or weatherwoman on TV? They are the people who tell us what the weather's going to be like today, tomorrow, and for the rest of the week. The weatherman predicts or makes his best guess at what the weather is going to be like. Sometimes he's just right, and sometimes he's wrong. The study of weather and making weather predictions is called meteorology. The person who does this is called a meteorologist. The words weatherman and weatherwoman are sometimes used to describe people we see on television who tell us about the weather. Often the weatherman or weatherwoman is a meteorologist. What's happening in this picture? What's the weather like? Raise your hand. Russell?
Sunny.
It's a sunny, probably pretty day because I see in the picture that Annie has on short sleeves and her mom does. They're outside maybe having a picnic, so it must be a nice day.
Miss Kate, her dad doesn't.
He does not, but his sleeves are rolled up. Predicting weather is important for many different reasons. It helps people know what to wear that day and if they will need an umbrella because of rain or sunscreen because of the sun. Predicting weather also helps people to plan things like picnics or trips to the beach. If my parents are planning a family picnic, they would want to make sure that it's not going to rain on us while we're outside. Can one of you tell me about a time weather ruined your plans to do something outside? I'll go first. One time, we went all the way to Disney World, and we were so excited, and we were standing outside on the curb to watch a parade. And guess what happened? It started thunderstorming, and they had to close the parade. So we had to go inside and find something else to do. But then they played it later that afternoon, so we got to see it. Is there a time where the weather has ever caused you to have to change your plans? Let's see. Anya, tell me about a time.
Well, we were going to go to the park to have a picnic, but then it rained.
Okay. Tell me about a time where the weather changed your plans.
So once, when I was biking with my friends, 2 of them, in circles on my driveway, it was raining hardly, and then it stopped in like a few minutes. And then a rainbow came.
Okay. All right. Farmers listen to meteorologists to know how much rain to expect. Why do you think knowing how much rain to expect is important to a farmer? Estelle, why is that important for a farmer to know how much rain we're going to get?
So I think so. He can water his plants.
Right. If there's not enough rain, they will need to make sure their plants get watered. And if it's a ton of rain, they might need to cover their plants so they don't get too much water. Landon?
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. If the meteorologist says it's not going to rain for a while.
I have a question about this.
Okay, hold on. They may need to find another way to water their plants. In fact, anyone whose job could be affected by weather listens carefully to what the meteorologist has to say about weather. Can you think of other people who need to know what the weather is going to be like to do their job? Raise your hand and I'll call on you. Hold on, Anya. You're going to have to wait. Okay, what's another job that weather could affect their job? Smriti? She's unmuting her microphone. It won't let you unmute it, sweet girl? I'll come back to you. Let's think. Ryan?
Pilots sinking into the
Very good.
Not sinking. Pilots that go into the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, a pilot, and not just the Bermuda Triangle, but anywhere. My daddy was a pilot. Pilots need to listen and understand the weather to be able to fly that day. That's right, because you don't want to fly in the rain. Anya?
I have a question.
What's your question?
If they cover the plants, the farmers, the plants won't get enough air they need.
Maybe if they just covered it for the rainstorm and then uncovered it, it would be okay.
But I think I know another time where people can't do it.
Okay.
Like, for example, there are people who play piano to earn money outside on the street.
That's true. Also, if you're a landscaper and you treat people's yards, or if you play a sport, a professional baseball player or something, can't play that out in the rain. Okay. Some other people who depend on meteorologists' predictions of the weather include baseball players, construction workers, garbage men, airline pilots, and astronauts. One way meteorologists predict what the weather will be like in the future is by studying weather patterns and temperatures from the past. Hold on. The past weather and temperature helps the meteorologists tell if the temperature on a particular day is normal for that time of year, or if they are higher or lower than usual. He does this by checking the weather record. The weather record is a written report of what the weather was like in the past. The weather record is kind of like a weather diary. It lists what the weather was like on that day in previous or past years. Okay. Besides looking at weather records, meteorologists use things such as computers and other equipment to predict the weather.
Miss Kate, where's Miss Hazelton?
She's not in right now, honey, but you've got to quit interrupting. One other important tool they use to make good weather predictions is a weather satellite. That's what's in this picture up here. Satellites are machines sent into space that have cameras, radios, and antennas, but no people. In space, the satellites travel around the Earth. The satellite cameras take pictures and send them down to the meteorologist. Using the photos from the satellite up in space, the meteorologists can see storms as they develop. Satellite pictures also help meteorologists predict whether the skies will be clear or cloudy. If you look carefully at this image, what do you think the white is in the background behind the satellite? Carolyn?
The clouds.
The clouds. Very good. So if the meteorologists see a bunch of clouds moving north, they might be able to tell, hey, those look like maybe rain clouds or storm clouds heading our way. And they can predict what it will be. And they use this tool, a satellite, to help them. What do you see in this picture? Are we?
There are like rain clouds and like gray clouds and white clouds.
Yeah, a gray stormy cloud and a white fluffy pretty cloud. Very good. Of course, you don't always need a meteorologist to tell you what the weather is going to be like, especially if you see dark clouds like these. These dark clouds are types of cumulus clouds. Say cumulus. Cumulus clouds can turn into thunderstorms. You can also find cumulus clouds during a nice weather day, when they appear white and fluffy like these, a cotton ball. These clouds are called cirrus clouds. Say cirrus. Cirrus clouds are thin and wispy clouds that float way high up in the sky. Usually cirrus clouds are high up in the sky means the weather is going to be clear and nice that day. To me, they look like paint strokes from a paintbrush. Stratus clouds are fairly low to the ground. These flat clouds can stretch out like a blanket across the entire sky. Sometimes they drop light rain or drizzle. The most important part of a meteorologist's job is to help save lives by warning people when severe weather is on the way. A meteorologist tells people in advance or ahead of time when bad weather is coming. The meteorologist in this picture is studying images of a hurricane, which is a huge storm that comes off of the ocean. The image made by a computer is made by a computer. Satellites, airplanes, and other tools help the computer tell how fast the wind is moving and how much it's raining, and which direction the storm is moving. Thanks to computers and satellites, this meteorologist saw the hurricane days before it came close to land. So they warned people to leave their homes and go to someplace safe. A lot of people stayed safe from this severe weather because of meteorologists. A meteorologist helps people prepare and stay safe during bad weather. Even though you can predict or tell ahead of time what the weather should be like during each season where you live, it's difficult to always predict exactly what the weather will really be like each and every day. So, it's a good idea to listen to your weather person or meteorologist so you will know to carry an umbrella or bring along extra sunscreen. That way you'll always be prepared. Thank you so much for helping me with my weather project. From now on, I hope you'll keep an eye to the sky and always pay attention to the weather in your neighborhood. Your friend, Annie. All right. So, let me ask you a few questions. Hang on, Nicole. What is the main topic of today's read aloud? What is our story mainly about? Landon?
Clouds.
Well, that was true. That was part of the story, but it was mainly about the study of weather. Does anybody remember what that's called? The study of weather? Russell?
Meteorologist.
Yes, meteorology or a meteorologist. Very good. If a meteorologist says it's going to rain today, how will that prediction affect your plans? If the meteorologist says it's going to rain today, how will that affect your plans? Estelle?
Will make you have to go back inside or go to a safe place.
Right. You probably wouldn't plan to do anything outdoors, right? You wouldn't plan a picnic on a day like today. Very good. It also would help you prepare for what you're going to wear. Like this morning, Miss Kate's had car rider line duty. So I needed to make sure I wore my raincoat and I brought my umbrella. What is the most important part of a meteorologist's job? They need to make sure they what? Smriti?
They have to make sure they find the weather to make sure it was safe.
Exactly. They need to make sure that we're safe. Just like they said, this weatherman using the instrument on his computer was able to see a hurricane and warn the people that live in that town to go to a safe place. Okay. Good. Okay. Why is predicting the weather important for you? Who could answer that question? Why is predicting the weather important for you? Carolyn?
Survive?
It helps us with surviving. Very good, because we need to know. We need to know what the weather's going to be like so we can dress appropriately. If it was going to snow today and I came out in short sleeves and shorts, that might not be very good for me. My body temperature would get way too cold. Landon?
What if I don't watch the weather and come outside and it just starts raining on us?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So it's important to watch the weather and make sure we know what's going to happen so we can be prepared just in case. All right, wonderful. Yes?
Is it called meteorologist or meteorologist?
Meteorologist. Meteorologist. If you look on our homepage, I've have a book there for us to look at that teaches you about meteorology, read by a real meteorologist. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to let you all